after I've pickled my metal and then pulled it from the pickle, rinsed it, steel wooled it, sanded it, I'm ready to set my stone. So I'm going to take my cabochon and push my cab into where the bezel is. Now hopefully it'll go in quite easily, but slightly snug. Here I've noticed that my bezel kind of bent in a little bit, so I'm going to take a flat pliers and very, very gently hold the bezel and pull it out a little bit so my cab can fit snugly inside. I like to take the clean end of an eraser and push my cab down. Sometimes you'll hear a snap, but you should just be able to see it resting perfectly inside and even, not at a weird diagonal or an angle. So I have my cab inside now. Now I'm not done, remember, I have to actually set it. All I've done right now is pushed it in. I'm going to start with the rocker or the roller, depends on who you talk to, and I also have a pusher here. I'm going to take some masking tape, and it's really a smart idea to tape up the metal that's still showing, because these tools can scratch your metal and you'll have to resand everything. You can get some really deep gouges. So I'm taking some masking tape and I'm taping up my metal. Now I'm going to take my rocker, and you'll see I'm at the edge of my table here, and I push it against the bezel and I rock up. You see how it's pushed in against my stone? Now I'm going to go to the opposite side, push in and rock up. I'm always going to go opposite, much like stretching a canvas. North, then south, then east, then west. Or up, down, left, right. And you can see the bezel pushing in and a little bit over the edge of the cab. But you want to do opposite sides. If you just go around clockwise or counterclockwise, you'll eventually just push the stone right out. So you'll always go on the opposite sides. I can show you what the pusher does, but I'm having a lot of success with the rocker. The pusher, and my hand's in the way, if you just push it against the edge and kind of push up or rock up, it'll do the same thing as the rocker. Boy, I tell you, different stones prefer different tools. It's really hard to know. But push it in and up. It's hard to know until you try them both. But I'm having a lot of success with the rocker, so I'm going to stick with that. But sometimes I try the rocker and I just can't get it to work. Then the pusher works much better. So once I have all those opposite sides rocked around or pushed or rolled around my bezel, around my stone, then I'm kind of going around and rocking those little bumps that haven't gone over yet. The little gaps, the little, the little open gaps there that I can see. And you can see that bezel's pushing around my cab really nicely. There's a little bit on the end here I need to take care of. So I'll push it in and over. The last step is to take the burnisher. Now this is hard to explain, but I'm holding the burnisher with my 4 fingers on my right hand, and you'll notice my right thumb is holding the bottom edge of my cab. And I'm going to take it, it kind of looks like I'm peeling, but I'm going to take that top edge of the bezel and push it around really hard with the burnisher. It's shining up that top edge, and it's also pushing it around the bezel. You see that? And I'm going to go all the way around. I'm not going opposite anymore, I'm just going all the way around. I'm pushing really hard, harder than I actually think I need to. And you can see the tip of that burnisher is ripping my tape. So I want to be very careful not to scratch my metal. But I'm not pushing the whole side of the bezel, and I'm not touching the stone. I'm just on the very top edge of the bezel, the tip edge of the bezel, and pushing that around my cab. Final steps here, just looking at it to make sure I've got everything pushed around and no gaps. Finishing with the burnisher, and then I'm going to peel off the masking tape. Hopefully it protected my metal enough that it's not all scratched, so I don't have to resand. But sometimes I really think that the bezel looks pretty scratched up. Could look a lot better. So I can certainly take this to the flex shaft and protect my stone with masking tape and sand my bezel. I can even resand my sheet metal and polish the sheet, not the stone, but the sheet. And voila, finished.